Who could forget the cops that went undercover as high schoolers when they were like 30? Well, we got a sequel. 22 Jump Street follows the undercover lifelong besties that will stop at nothing in order to get their mission done, this time at a college. Get ready for a lot of bromance. Because today in Flick Summary, 22 Jump Street. The film opens with Schmidt and Jenko reading themselves for a mission with the Ghost, the greatest dealer in Metro City. Schmidt creates a new persona in order to fool the bad guys, but Jenko doesn't seem to be interested in faking too much for the drug dealers, giving his lack of talent in improvising.
Don't do that.
While Schmidt kills it with his character, Jenko stumbles upon his words, paving the way for, you guessed it, my name is Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
Surprisingly, this A+ acting managed to convince the Ghost and his minions, who led our main guys to the drug stash. As Schmidt opens the container, he is surprised by a giant octopus jumping on him, meaning that the Ghost was actually involved in the exotic animals black market, not drugs clearly. Dropping their acts, as soon as the octopus pops out, the Ghost and his minions immediately notice that the two are acting. Really? You don't say.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
All the while, the Ghost and his underling droogs run away in their truck, and somehow Jenko and Schmidt's patrol explodes, making them thirsty for revenge. The pair chases after the Ghost, where they manage to catch up by doing insane parkour stunts and climbing up trucks.
Parkour!
Pretty sick. Unfortunately, just when they are about to catch the dealers, both Schmidt and Jenko are hit by a street sign, knocking them out of the bus and freeing the criminals. Off to a great start, wouldn't you say? Now that the criminals are on the loose, as they always were, Jenko and Schmidt have some explaining to do.
I can explain.
After a rather brief and awkward scolding, the undercover cops are reassigned to Jump Street, where they meet their boss once again, Captain Dixon. Due to their unexpected success as high schoolers, Dixon reassigns them to college boys, something a little more age-appropriate at least, to investigate a new drug called Wi-Fi, which stands for work hard? Yes. Play hard? Yes. Clever name, huh? They are sent on the mission after the death of one of the university students, Cynthia. He provides our guys with a picture of the dealer, whose only recognizable trait is a tattoo. But hey, at least it's something. This officially marks the return of the undercover cops and their characters, Brad McQueen, so Jenko, and Doug McQueen, Schmidt. Two brothers who just want to make the best of their college experience. Upon their arrival at a university, they unpack their belongings and the required items to make them fit in with their university peers. Afterwards, they are greeted by the two roommates living across the hall, who happen to be twins. From this point on, the act begins as Jenko and Schmidt. Now Brad and Doug, respectively, introduce themselves as brothers as well. The tweens seem a little startled by the absolute zero similarities the two share with one another, but roll with it either way. However, they attempt to convince them by doing this.
Paperclips, bananas, I don't know. Words.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm sold. The boys attempt to acclimate themselves to the new college environment, attending several classes and scouting the field for some culprits. During one of Brad's classes, he encounters a college footballer with a red mohawk and tries to befriend him. However, he's interrupted when his teacher asks him a bunch of random questions, as he boasts about the college experience and encourages Brad to say whatever he wants.
Phyto, not a word, but I'm gonna accept it.
Later on, our undercover cops find out that Cynthia loved attending slam poetry events. They scout the area to gather intel, but manage to get themselves in another pickle as Doug is forced to perform an improvised poem after a girl he was cheating up, Maya, pressured him to get on stage.
Slam poetry. Yelling.
Feeling stuck, the pair decides to pay a visit to the antagonist of the previous movie, who is now in jail. He points out the tattoo shown on the dealer's arm in the picture and suggests they visit a nearby tattoo artist. They follow his advice and visit a local ink shop and ask about their college students' clients, with one of the artists eventually recalling a time where he tattooed a dude with a red mohawk. Huh, sounds familiar, doesn't it? We have a lead. Given Mr. Mohawk's involvement in football, Brad and Doug decide to try out for the team. There they meet Suk, a friendly guy who instantly hits off with Brad, which makes Doug a little jealous but tries playing it cool.
Loving this.
After training, Zook ends up inviting Brad to the party he was hosting. Doug tries to join the conversation but is constantly ignored until Brad informs his newfound friend that Doug is his brother and finally gets an invite. As they get ready for the party, Brad suggests it might be best if Doug stays behind as Zook didn't seem thrilled about him tagging along.
Hey man, that's not cool.
Originally, Doug pays no mind but decides to leave after Jenko becomes otherwise occupied with his new group of friends. Following the party fiasco, Doug walks around campus and encounters the girl from Slap Poetry, Maya. They sit and talk for some time as Doug's new lady friend invites him to an art class party, which somehow leads Maya and Doug to have sex. Hey, at least he got lucky, right?
Not bad, kid.
We cut back to Brad and see him hanging out with Zook and Red Mohawk, who brags about his tattoo. Bingo! Unfortunately though, Brad doesn't get to bingo for too long, as the ink doesn't match the one in the picture.
So fucking close.
However, when it's Zook's turn to show his, Brad's face immediately changes. The tattoo on the picture matches Zook's arm. Dang it, just as I was getting attached.
God damn it!
The next morning, Doug wakes in Maya's room, where we meet her awkward yet terrifying roommate, Mercedes, who witnesses the two boinking. Well, even more awkward, huh?
A skip, a scop, scoop. This is super uncomfortable.
Back to our regular college schedule, Doug and Brad are hanging out in their dorm, eating some crispy treats, discussing the mission and the tattoo. Brad admits that he doesn't think the tattoo is where they should be looking for because many might have the same specific tattoo, as he casually reveals that Zook has it as well. Doug loses his marbles and tells Brad they have to investigate him. The two get interrupted when their front door twin neighbors walk in and tell them that the crispy trees have Wi-Fi in them. Oh no, not again.
Oh shit, here we go again.
A few minutes later, while under the effects of Wi-Fi, Brad and Doug break into Zook's apartment, bugging the place with mics and cameras while they overhear a frat meeting on their savvy devices. When they get ready to ditch the scene, Brad and Doug get kidnapped by masked assailants who shove them in a trunk.
Why?
Still on drugs, the pair find themselves tripping during the kidnapping. Brad is having a good time, but Doug, not so much.
I think we're tripping.
The trunk opens and it is revealed that Zook and his friends are behind this ploy. It's not for the reasons you might think though. As it turns out, the frat wants Brad and Doug to join them and this was just initiation. Phew, that was close.
Oh, thank God.
While Brad has a good time with the frat, Doug can't stand it and quits, which leads to a marriage dispute where the unlikely couple decide to investigate separately.
We are getting a divorce.
Time goes by and the pair remain separate. Brad hangs out with the frat while Doug spends some time with Maya. In fact, he spends so much time with Maya that he got to meet her parents, which ends up being not so great when it's revealed that Maya's dad is Captain Dixon, Doug's boss.
Might as well die.
Oh no. After a terrible awkward dinner, Maya and Doug leave and spend the night talking in the room. Noticing she was late to class, Maya scurries out and leaves Doug alone with the unnerving Mercedes, who for some reason reveals that Cynthia constantly visited the school counselor. With this important lead, Doug briefly lets go of the issue and tells Brad they should investigate the shrink too. They do exactly that, but get caught when the counselor walks in. Apparently, he didn't know he had a 9 o'clock appointment with a couple. Brad and Doug played cool and end up actually having marriage therapy with the shrink.
A relationship is something that requires constant work.
Which is what I thought we learned in high school.
While on therapy, the shrink suggests the couple may be having trouble as they may not be facing the problem correctly. This leads the undercover cops to think they're not looking at the dealer situation from the right angle. After this revelation, they decide to meet with Captain Dixon, who, rightfully so, remains upset about his daughter. Oblivious, Brad asks what's wrong, and the boss reveals what Doug did to Maya, which of course Brad finds hilarious. Enraged, the captain sends them back to work. Brad and Doug break into Cynthia's room and find broken books, where she apparently hid her stash, explaining that this might be how Wi-Fi gets so carefully passed around. As they plan to head to the library and check the books, Brad gets a call from Zook, telling him the game was about to start. Brad ditches Doug, stranding him.
Why are you doing this?
In turn, Doug goes on the mission alone and finds that Wi-Fi dealer was none other than the ghost himself.
I knew it.
Brad hurries to the library and accidentally blows Doug's quiet cover. They immediately recognize each other from earlier and try to arrest the ghost and his minions. However, Brad and Doug are unarmed, and the ghost is very much, well, armed.
Why are you the way that you are?
A chase ensues between the groups as the undercover cops manage to escape by stealing a small football cart that somehow exploded right in the middle of the field. Without much explanation, the pair quits the mission. Doug leaves the university, and Brad attempts to stay behind and fit in with his new college peers. While watching the news, it is revealed that the school dealer has been arrested, who ended up being the counselor, apparently.
It doesn't make any sense, sir.
Knowing the news were mistaken, Brad tracks Doug down and suggests they catch the real dealer on a final one-time thing job. They quickly get to work and head to a spring break rave that most of the university attends, putting on ridiculous costumes to try to fit in. In the midst of a bunch of people, they notice Mercedes, the unnerving roommate, with a suitcase and suspiciously eyeing her surroundings. Not a great attempt at not looking suspicious, Mercedes.
Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious.
Brad and Doug follow her, and it's revealed that she is the ghost's daughter and is selling drugs all around. Just before Mercedes is about to, for some reason, kill the front door twin neighbors, Brad and Doug burst through the door, who are now joined by the entire task force. As expected, things get very violent very fast. Mercedes kidnaps the captain while Doug steals a Lamborghini to chase them, while Brad goes after the ghost. Doug finally finds Mercedes, where they engage in a fist fight, but Mercedes thinks Doug actually wanted to kiss her.
No!
What?
No!
A flawless logic. All the while, Brad is fighting the ghost's minions, and Doug, joined by the captain, arrest Mercedes. Doug goes after Brad in order to help him beat the ghost, and in an attempt to save Brad's life, he dodges the bullet and Brad takes it again.
This is the worst.
Even though he's wounded, Brad chases after the ghost, who is now in a helicopter, and attempts to destabilize the chopper. Doug takes a leap of faith and reaches the heli as well. Brad slips away, but Doug catches him, finally saving Brad's life for once. Packs a grenade in his pants and asks Brad to reach out for it. After some awkward touching, Brad finds the grenade and throws it at the helicopter. The chopper explodes, and the pair safely land in the ocean. Finally, the pair hash things out and manage to rekindle their friendship as they head into several other Jump Street missions where they pose as virtually any role that ever existed. The end! And that's all for today. What did you think of this movie? Was it as funny as the first one? By the way, if you haven't watched it yet, what are you waiting for? And as always, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friends. See you next time!